We're starting a day off right today. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, now it's going to start getting fun. But before we get going, I just want to say hi to our new friend, the Sat Cam, up there in the sky. Hopefully that's going to give us a better point of view of how things are going to be working. Helps you kind of see things the way that I'm seeing them. And with any luck, we'll be able to zoom in and get a better view of what's going on. So we'll be trying that out. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing grain filling. And here's why we have to do this. On this Les Paul, right up here on the headstock, the original fiber overlay that came off of it wasn't really, it was usable, but it didn't fit exactly the way I thought it should fit. There were some alignment issues, there was some wood that kind of went missing, and it just wouldn't fit right. So what I decided to do, as you saw, if you've watched the catch-up video for the Les Paul Studio, was I made my own 3-ply wood overlay. This wood overlay has not been grain filled. You can actually feel the grain up here. So we're going to have to fill that so that we have a nice level surface for our paint to go onto. If we don't fill the grain, when the nitro paint starts to cure, it's going to shrink down into those holes, and you will be able to see that grain, and we don't want that to happen. There are a lot of different ways that you can fill the grain on wood. You could use a wood sealer. I've seen people use egg whites. Apparently that was the way it was done for hundreds and hundreds of years. Or you can do what I'm going to do today, and we're going to use a 2-part finishing epoxy. It's got about a half an hour working time. We'll smooth on a really light coat. We'll let it sit for probably 3 or 4 hours, and then we'll sand it flat, and then we'll probably recoat it again and again, and we might even recoat it again after that until we get that nice smooth surface, so that when we paint it, that nice glossy black, lay our decals onto it and clear coat it, everything will look just sweet. So let's get going on that. Here's a close-up shot of this overlay that I've made, and I'm not quite sure if you can see it or not. There's a definite grain running just like this, and this is that grain that we're going to have to get rid of. Otherwise our paint is not going to look so super cool and rock starish. And this is my son's guitar, and trust me, he needs all the help he can get. We're doing his prancer size. And with the Sat Cam, let's take another different view at this. Again, this is the headstock that I've made. You can see the grain running this way, and you can actually feel it. If you drag your fingernail across it, it's rough. You can feel all the little furrows in there, and that's what we've got to fill up in order to get that nice and smooth. So I've never done this before, and I really don't want to mess up this really nice Les Paul. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of wood, and this is my top coat veneer from the headstock that I made, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue it down on this piece of wood, clamp it, let it cure, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to practice my z-poxy wood filling on this so I can screw up on this and not screw up on a really nice guitar. So the first thing I got to do is I have to cut this piece of wood off of a big long piece of wood. Okay, now that I've done that, we're going to go ahead and take our tight bond and I'm just going to use a paintbrush, kind of spread it out a little more evenly. I don't know that you have to do this. That's just kind of the way I am. That and $4 will get you a cup of coffee somewhere. And we're just going to press this down here like that. Mindful of the squeeze out that we're going to get. Then I've got something very high tech. This is an old license plate that I have. I always keep my old license plates from wherever it is that I am, if I'm able to, that is. Clamp, clamp, clamp. And one more for the center. And now we should do something like, I don't know, we should go to the hardware store. Oh, a trip to the hardware store, so refreshing. And after 2 years of living in Tokyo, for it to be 4.5 minutes from my door to the front door of the great big blue and white hardware store, awesome sauce. All right, let's pull this apart, take a look at what we have. And there we go. We're going to trim this excess bit of glue off of it just to clean it up, give us a cleaner surface to work with. We're going to sand it down, and then we'll start working on the z-poxy. And now we're just going to use some naphtha, otherwise known as lighter fluid, to clean the surface of this off. I just want to make sure that I'm getting any kind of oils off of there, because I don't want it to interfere with the z-poxy getting into the pores and potentially releasing back later. We want to be able to make sure that all of that stuff is filled up, and I just touched it with my finger again, so now I'm going to have to clean it off again. Naphtha is known as lighter fluid. You can buy it at hardware stores. White gas, Coleman Camp Fuel, same thing. All right, let the excitement begin. We've given the naphtha time to flash off of there. Now we're going to go ahead and open up our z-poxy. I could have done this before I started recording, but I didn't figure you wanted to miss any of the excitement. Alright, now, using these very little precise measuring cups, I'm going to over-mix this. Because I'd rather have too much than too little. And there we are. Now, mix, 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 mix. I have read quite a number of internet forum posts where people will use this mixture of z-poxy, but then they will also cut it down with denatured alcohol in order to make it a little thinner and flow into the pores more easily. And that's something that we may or may not do. We'll just have to hang on and see what it's going to be like. I have taped off part of my wood so that when I'm done with this I can peel that wood back and then I can see what it's really what we're accomplishing, and hopefully with some of my fancy schmancy camera skills we can get in really close and take a look at the effects that this is going to have on here. Now we're just going to spread this in. Oh, the excitement. It's just palpable. So I hope your day's going okay so far. Mine's not been too bad. The usual fracas that is getting my girls to school, because I live in a district where there are no school buses. One school is located in a pretty residential area, which means we don't have nice wide roads at that point. And the other daughter goes to a school that has like 900 kids in it, and it pulls children from all across the district, which means very few of them walk to school. So if you can imagine the traffic a school of 900 brings to itself, it's almost like being back in Tokyo. Round trip to both schools, 9 miles. So far it's taken me almost an hour in the afternoon each time to pick them up, which is kind of silly. Now, I don't know if you are able to see this or not, but this z-poxy is getting sucked up pretty good. Now, I have only sanded this wood, 180 grit sandpaper. I haven't done anything else to it. I haven't finish coated it. I didn't put a base coat on there. It's just straight into the wood. And there we have it, our first coat of z-poxy onto the test wood. And it's going to sit probably till the morning, because I got other stuff going on too. Yeah, we'll see. It says cure time's 3 hours. The problem here right now is in the afternoon, it's flipping hot in this garage. And I enjoy doing this, but that's just crazy. I'm not going to do that. So we'll see. Stand by. We'll check back later. Hey folks, welcome back. We've given this overlay, this test sample here, a couple of days to dry, just because it's the weekend and it's really hard to do stuff on the weekend here. Kids screaming and door slamming and all that type of stuff. So we've let it sit for a couple of days. I don't know if you can tell how that z-poxy has really just been kind of sucked into this wood here. So now I'm just going to sand it with 180 grit, get it nice and flat, and then we're going to fill it again, and then we're going to let it sit, and then we're going to kind of see where we go from there. Now I still over here have got some kind of shiny areas. I'm not quite sure if that's going to show up or not, but you can see right in those 4 or 5 lines right around in there that you can still see the where the epoxy is still there. So we're just going to keep on sanding that down. For sanding blocks, I'm using these nifty cool wet dry squeegee pads that you can get at the auto parts store. Works a lot better than a Game Boy battery, which is what I've been using. And this is much smoother now, because if you remember, we've left this section over here undone. If I run my fingernail across it, it's like you can just really feel the difference here. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to clean this off with some naphtha. We're going to mix up another coat of epoxy, spread it on there, and it'll probably sit for a while, and then we'll do it again, and then we'll just kind of see where we go from there. So stand by. So we've used a toothbrush and gotten all the sawdust out of here, or sanding dust, or paper dust, or whatever you want to call it. Compressed aired it out. Use the naphtha to get it oil free. And now here we are spreading on another coat of the z-poxy. And let's try to get that centered a little better for the sat cam, Big Brother up in the sky. Working it one way, and then I'm going to work it the other. And we're done. Not working this one too much. It doesn't seem to be soaking it up quite as much as it did for the first time. There we go. Coat 2. Stand by. And back again. So let's take a look here. Here we are. Second coat of z-poxy grain filler has gone on there. I'm going to kind of tilt it up and down like this. Not sure if that's going to show up or not. Got a pretty even sheen on that. It has dried. So now, yet again, we're going to take the 180 grit sandpaper after it, sand it down, and then we're going to z-poxy it again. We're going to put 3 coats on there, and then we're going to come and see what we've got. Sand of the grain. You can see that it comes off really easy. It's not a horrible, terrible ordeal to get that off there. I have to adjust my position. I'm trying to catch what I'm sanding the z-poxy out of there, off the top. And again, if we go back here for reference, that's super, super right there. That's pretty darn smooth there. Hey, not really done this before. I want to test things out on a scrap piece of wood. If you have any ideas or suggestions, or comments, tell me in the comments. Drop me a line. Using the best English that you use with your letter. Let me know. I'm doing something right, I'm doing something wrong. There's something you want to see, because I have a couple projects just kind of within the wings. They're not really hot. They're not burning right now. They might be really confused. Let me know. And that's what's and here we are again. And there we are again. Let's again. Come back. Sand it down again. Repeat. Rinse. All I have is that. Yeah. Same stuff. Sorry. Hey folks, welcome back. I've painted my test piece of wood, the same type that we've used to make the overlay for the Les Paul Studio. We grain filled it with the z-poxy. And I've given it just a light coat of Ranch black, which is about the blackest black I've ever seen. Highly recommend the Ranch products. Love them. They have a fantastic form. So this is the last section of this particular video. next step is we're going to start using the z-poxy to do that thing on the guitar. We're going to start doing that next, and that'll be the next segment on this, because this has gone on way too long. So yeah, tune back in, do something, have some bacon.